There is nothing to believe in. There is no need to believe. Hello and welcome to the video. My name is William Turner, that's what I'm known online as. And I play a lot of Elden Ring and Counter-Strike. I have thousands of hours in each game. And in this video I want to be comparing the two. A little bit of backstory about myself as far as you're concerned. I grew up in a religious country. I grew up with a lot of religious parents, religious society, a lot of socialist behavior going on in my area. And I managed to beat all of that. I got the God bullshit out of my blood. I got that society stuff out of my head. And basically, I'm Nietzsche reborn, if you're willing to put it that way. And I want to be talking a little bit about why Elden Ring PVP can surpass Counter Strike PVP. The new CS2. That's what I'm comparing it to. Also, I'm playing a lot of Bloodborne on Twitch, so if you will, I'm planning to finish Bloodborne, which is emulated on PC. I'm playing that. I'm planning on finishing it before GTA 6 comes out, so turn up if you don't want to miss on that. And yeah, here's a bunch of reasons. The first step to realizing this is Elden Ring PvP considers the individual versus the group, and you can see this in the invasions and the way they're balanced as well. So when you look at Elden Ring PvP, right, it's first of all, there's two kinds. There's the Colosseum, and the only mode that really matters when it comes to the Colosseum is the 1v1. So you get the 1v1, and in Counter-Strike, normally, there's the deathmatch solo mode, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit, which is the solo mode can actually be compared to the PvP in Elden Ring, which is usually the one I play and enjoy the most in Counter-Strike. I want to talk about that in a bit. So in Counter-Strike, there's 5 people versus 5 other people. Now this could be good if all 5 people are in tandem. They somehow grew up together, so they've known each other from childhood, know every single thing they do, and they also happen to be very good at Counter-Strike. You get a very good team. That's how it works. So that is the perfect ideal scenario, which is not normally what happens. Normally what happens is when you're put into a group of 5 people, right? Put into a group of 5 people versus 5 other people. What happens is usually you assign blame to others when you fail. Even though this happens subconsciously, it is something that happens because you have forced yourself to be in a group instead of completely accepting that life is something that you experience individually. You are deluding yourself into thinking that life is something that is experienced with a group of people, which I mean, superficially, if you look at it, that's right. We're in a society, we're in a family. You're born into a society and a family, and it really takes a special mind to detach from all of that. You have to detach yourself from those to be able to make your own values. Otherwise, you're a slave to those establishments that come before you. You're slave to systems instead of being a slave to destiny, which I want to talk about. Which you're already a slave to. I'm going to talk about that later. So yeah. Other than that, there's the invasion mechanic in the Elden Ring PvP scene. So if you don't know about it, I can't explain it too much, get into the details, but so whenever you ask for someone to come help you to beat a boss or an area, that is basically the idea that the game gives me. I'm just giving you the ideas that Elden Ring systems give me, and I'm explaining them. So that action, summoning people into your world so that they can help you with a boss, and not to experience the game with another person. I mean, both are kind of very close, but in the Elden Ring example, it's basically not possible. You have one host and one summoned player. It's not two hosts, which is important to take into account for later, and I want to talk about that as well. And yeah, so by that action of summoning someone into your world, what you have done is you refused the challenge that the game has provided you. Now you can take this picture and apply it to real life. So how societies happen is that, or how religions happen in general, that victim morality is one person says, oh, one person doesn't want to, gives up when faced with the challenge of living as a human being, and therefore asks for help. Now the resulting if the effect that this has in Elden Ring is that now you can be invaded by other people. So how individualism is represented here, I mean, you can kind of imagine, because the invader is in fact fighting that slave mentality, passive mentality, that victim mentality that doesn't want to deal with the challenges of life. And the invader comes in and joins, which is a person that has joined the enemies, the monsters in the game, and that also represents, in real life, people who, instead of giving up, instead of cowering in the face of the challenges of life, they accept the challenges, they revel in the challenges, and instead of, I don't know, being scared of life, I don't know how else to put it, they kill the monsters that life throws at them. Of course, I'm talking about figurative monsters. Life has a lot of challenges, a lot of dark stuff happens to a lot of people, and if they conquer those challenges, that is how they become something, greater than whatever religion or society is projecting onto you. You become the monster. In other words, invaders in the Elden Ring PvP section are not hit by monsters. Monsters can't hit them. Obviously, the exemption from this is the huge monsters, of course. I guess there's something to be said about that. No matter how much you join the monsters, there's always some things that you can't avoid. You can conquer the world, but there's gonna be some things that you always have to take into account and be careful about. So that's, I think, why enemies in Elden Ring can't hit the invaders. I think that's the reason that the mechanic has been implemented in that way. So yeah, another way this is relevant, individualism versus group, is that other invaders, there can be two invaders in one world at any given time. Of course, if the slot is occupied by a hunter or something. So you can actually also have this idea also regarding invaders themselves, because when there's two invaders, they can hit each other, which just amplifies that effect of being anti-socialism, anti-society, and asking for help. Because if invaders helped each other and were not able to hit each other, that would be against the value they are standing for. So I guess that's really amazing what they achieved. Going back to CS, yeah, I think it's really easy to be, the best you can be, but your team drags you down, which is something that can happen, obviously, in real life. So I give it that about CS. But the individual thing, if you're individualistic enough, I guess, for example, when a really good, great player plays in a team of weak people, the enemies uh, can be conquered by that player. But even if he single-handedly carries the team, he doesn't win himself, so he doesn't get all the pleasure. The pleasure is divided between the whole team, although the strength of one player succeeded the entire team. So there's the anti-society talk that the mechanics in Elden Ring are sort of perpetuating, I guess, which is very interesting. And yeah, it's just very good stuff, you know. Taking me to my next point, why Elden Ring PvP is better. There is no democracy, you know. In Counter Strike, you can always vote someone out. So imagine this scenario where a team of individuals, you know, a team of Counter Strike players are playing the game normally in a random, you know, queue, and one player starts doing really good, you know. They're having a great day. They're blasting everyone. They're getting the rounds. You know, one person does this. Now, imagine this is a very low-ranking match with a lot of low-ranking players, and this one person is just performing extraordinarily well. So what happens is the weak people in that person's team suspect him of being a cheater, and they vote him out using the democracy that is implemented into the game. The issue arises when all the individuals voting against the one person are just simply bad at the game. Maybe not even in general. Maybe that day, those 4 people in the team are having a bad day. And emotionally, they decide they don't like this person that is doing a lot better than them, even though the person is contributing to the winning of the entire team. They don't care about that. They suspect he's cheating and they vote him out. Now you can see clearly the image of this phenomena in society. So if you start doing good in any field because of the bullshit systems that are in place, you will not get somewhere. You're destined. If you play CS, you are destined to be a victim of others, to be a victim of people who are weaker than you, or who are just experiencing something bad that day. That's why democracy is a bad system, which, because it doesn't exist in Elden Ring, I think it makes it superior to Counter Strike PvP. Yeah. So, for example, like I said, invaders in Elden Ring can hit each other, so they're not actually a group, so they can cooperate, but their nature is that they are against each other as well as society, because that's how individualism works. And there is no help. You have to face everything yourself, including other people who are facing everything themselves. So think of it like that. So in a societal setting in Elden Ring, which is the cooperator, the 2 cooperators and the host, for example, or the hunter that is summoned, it's not a democracy. You're like in Elden Ring, you can't take a vote to kick someone you don't like out of the game. Of course, the invader is invading. You can't do anything about that but to kill the invader. And if you don't like someone you're cooperating with, the decision isn't a democratic one. The decision is a dictatorship. You know, basically the host decides. The host does what they want because they now own whoever has been summoned into their side of the combat. So the host owns the cooperators and the hunters that join the game, because they ask for help and you made the mistake of accepting that ask for help. So yeah, the next point I'm trying to make is that survival, you know, when you play Elden Ring PvP, imagine the Colosseum. the 1v1 coliseums, right? Survival, there is no reward for it. At the end of each CS match, you are ranked by Valve, by what they consider to be good or bad, and not specifically by winning. So whether you win or not counts, but other things count as well, which I don't think it should be the case. So in Elden Ring, when you fight in the Colosseum, if you win, you get nothing except what is the center of my attention. You get a brief time after you kill in a 1v1 duel. When you kill someone, there's a brief moment of time you can do anything you want. And I do believe that moment represents the reward of the combat. Because you don't get any runes for winning in the Colosseum. You get a rank, but the rank is meaningless because if you switch, um, for example, if you reload your build, if you lost too many items and you want to get your items back, you put the files back in the saves directory, and your rank is reset. And it's not like the rank represents who the players you fight are. It doesn't. So there is no real benefit to the rank, and there's no runes for it. You don't get any items or anything like that, and I think that's really great. In CS, you get drops. If you play once in a while, I guess, which is a real. You get actual money. You get a case, and you can sell the case. You get, and then you get games with it. I guess it's sort of a real reward in that sense. But the point Elden Ring is trying to make with the no reward system, well, which made me look for another thing, is this: survival is its own reward. So winning and losing, it's its own reward and punishment, in other words. So when you fight someone in Elden Ring duels, you win against them, there's that brief moment when they're dead and you can do whatever you want. And a lot of players choose this moment to, go above where they died, teabag them and point down at them or whatever they want. And I think that's fucking great, because that represents real life, because the victors decide what happens. This is also depicted in the PvE section of Elden. If you look at it, you basically, as a Tarnished, or in previous games, arguably, you defeat the main powerful entity in the entire world of the story, and then you, which is very Nietzsche-like, so that's good. After you defeat the god of the world, you get to create your own meaning. That's why all these games don't show anything after you beat the final boss of the game, even though it seems like really the game should continue. A lot of people ask for I don't know, DLC or any story continuation for when the FromSoftware stories end, but that's not really realistic, because they're based on obviously Nietzschean school of thought, where you first beat the entity that was giving meaning to everyone: tradition, God, religion, society, anything like that. You beat that, and then you create your own universe with its own unique meaning. Whatever you do, what you want to do, and I think that's perfectly represented in the PvP as well, which I think is just mind-blowing, and it's great. After you win, there's a moment you can do anything you want, and that represents what happens in real life if you fight someone. If you fight someone, you win, and they don't survive, and you do. That means you get to do anything you want, and you get to continue on what that person doesn't. And this really encapsulates that survival of the fittest is all that matters. So skill doesn't matter. The way you deal damage to the other person doesn't matter. Nothing matters, you know. It doesn't matter if you're polite or not. You don't get a moral win, no matter how you look at it. You just get a power win. It doesn't matter if you have a good connection, good internet connection, which is a huge aspect of whether you win or not. You know, some of the Elden Ring players, PvPers in the Colosseum, have such bad internet that they just win all fights by default, and that's just something they can do, and there is nothing that can be done about that. And I just think that's good. That's what separates Elden Ring from Counter Strike, which is what I will be getting to next. It is the unfairness, which makes it a real fight. It better encapsulates real world. It's more realistic if it's unfair. If some people win by default. So a lot of people hate this, you know, hate this idea because they want to win themselves. Not because they care about the morality of the situation. You have to keep this in mind. So, yeah. The next point I want to get into, in Elden Ring PvP or PvE, you are free to cheat. Cheating is absolutely permitted. There is no banning, which is not the case for Counter Strike. You can actually get banned if you do certain types of cheating. So in Elden Ring, there are a million different ways of cheating. I will be explaining them in a bit. So if you're if there's a certain kind of being, you know, if you're laggy, it gives you the advantage that you, well, I don't exactly know how the internet aspect of it works, but you're basically harder to hit and others are easier to hit for you. So that's what I mean. At a certain amount of lag, it doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter if you have 3 hours of Elden Ring PvP experience total. If you just get into the game and you're laggy enough, you are impossible to kill. So yeah. So there are some people that are enough laggy. Well, they can be beat, but they're enough laggy that it's easier for them to hit other people. You know, their weapons become faster. That's the point. Every action they do, it appears as though they are doing it in the future, and there's no way for your opponent to beat something that is in the future. Literally, like that's how it is. And they use big swords, you know, big, slow, heavy weapons that are so slow they would never actually normally win any fight in this game. But because of the internet problem, they actually get to land hits, and they don't care that it is the lag that is giving them this option. They just want to win. That is the selfishness of the humans that you cannot see in Counter-Strike. Yeah, when I say you are free to cheat, there is basically another thing is that there are some certain fast attacks. Like I said, first of all, slow weapons become really fast using the lag because of the bad coding of the game, and really fast attacks become impossible to dodge as a result of also the internet speeding attacks, internet problem speeding attacks up. So there's a swift dart spell that PvPers use, and there is realistically no way to dodge it if your opponent is a bit laggy. If they're a bit laggy to you, have a bit of a laggy connection to you, and you're using a weapon that is not too fast or slow, you're not, you know, you're using a normal weapon which is reasonably dodgeable, even though there's a lag between players. They could use a swift dart, and basically you get hit before you even know they have an intention of attacking. That's how fast that spell is combined with the right talismans and the right stats. So they do that. That's one of the ways they cheat. Doing attacks that are not um, that your opponent is unable to dodge, and doing that kind of attacks, and you don't even give them a chance to dodge. That's one of the ways they cheat. Another way is using status buildup, and status buildup is actually broken in the game. You see how you play PvE, and unless you get hit with an attack, let me guess. Let me give an example. For example, Moog. You know Moog, when he uses the attacks on you, unless they hit you, they're not gonna cause bleed status effect, which is not the case in PvP. The PvP is broken, and any attack that has status buildup goes through your opponent's rolls. The PvP community knows this, and as a person who played, Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls 1, and then Elden Ring offline, I joined the PvP community just to find out the status buildup goes through my rolls, and they simply didn't care. They just wanted to win, which is obviously that's what I mean by eye-opening experience. They had no intention of understanding my perspective. That me saying status buildup is broken, it's like a meteor coming down to hit their house at this day and age. A meteor that no one saw coming. That's how surprised they are. They have no idea what I'm talking about. So status buildup goes through rolls, and no one in the entire community is even talking about this, and they don't care, and they just use it to win. No, new players come into the PvP scene and leave because of how unfair it is. Of course, they're bitches. They're not like me. Of course, they're not built different. They're not special. But that's what I mean. We would have a normal gameplay more like Counter-Strike if it wasn't for these unfairnesses and injustices that the PvP community refuses to acknowledge. Another way they cheat is that, how I got into PvP is watching a bunch of streamers and YouTubers on Elden Ring PvP, and I was looking at their games and I was like, whoa, this person has like 99 of all items. I was like, that's a lot. That takes a lot of dedication to farm that much to be able to use it in the PvP and the invasions. And I then realized they cheated their items in. They don't farm anything. That was some of the first things I understood when I came into the PvP scene. They cheat consumables into the game, and they keep them for themselves, and other players have already, new players that come into the PvP have already lost the fights because they don't have as many consumables, or they are not as free and generous when using their consumables because they're not infinite. They have to farm them. It takes effort for them to farm, and yeah, that's just another way Elden Ring PvP cheats and doesn't care that it's cheating. Like it just goes for the win, which is not something that Counter-Strike. I mean, Counter-Strike players at least have a thing, have a code of honor or something like that. But Elden Ring PvP is just the perfect answer, to that. The opposite point. What shows that is not the case when it comes to real life, and I just love that. So another way they cheat is that the community says that there is a level everyone should be at for the PvP to take place, and you have to be at that level, and the way Elden Ring PvP decides which players you're matched up with, it looks at your level. For example, see this middle line. Imagine this is your level, and a few levels lower than your character and a few levels higher than your character are matched with you. So you fight with people who are lower level than you and who are a bit higher level than you. So the way this works, Elden Ring PvP says, okay, this is the level we have to be in. Of course, individuals can cheat and go beyond that level, go higher than that to get an advantage over what the community agreed on. And of course, that is what happens, and that's something you don't realize in Counter Strike. That people cheat. This is why I love playing Elden Ring. Every day I'm reminded of the tough, hard facts of life that nobody says, but everybody understands and knows that this is how things are. And you can clearly see the human nature while playing Elden Ring. It's not possible playing CS because that shit is too much. Civilization is has crept inside Counter Strike for it to be like this. So of course, at first I was level 125. I was like, okay, this is what we agreed on, and then I was like, whoa, there's a lot of players. I watched. Of course, I was still watching Twitch and YouTube. Not Twitch, just YouTube. PvPers. I was watching them, and they were they were at level 138. I was 125, and the maximum you can be from 125 is 138, and you can still match with the players at 125. So I was like, okay, this person is 138. They wanna just maybe push the level a little bit. Their excuse, of course, was that there's a lot of players at level 150, and we want to match with players at level 150 as well as people at 125. This is how we get the maximum players to match with. And I was like, okay, let's chill. That's fine with me. So I upgraded to level 138. I was like, I don't really want to, have, there's a lot of people. I was in the Coliseum, and I was seeing, it's in their names. I was seeing too many 138 level people. So I was like, okay, if we have moved on from 125 to 138 just with the excuse of being able to match with more people, I will not be, at a disadvantage all the time, because there's like 6 people at 125 at this point. There's no one at 125, level 125. So I moved on to 138. Now imagine this is 138, this is 125, and this is beyond. And then I kept playing, and it happened again. And now I'm seeing a lot of level 150 people. I go to YouTube, I go to the communities, and they're like, yeah, I'm level 150. Me personally, I like 150, but there's a lot of people, that's what they say, there's a lot of people at 138 and 125. So if you want most matches, stick to 138. And there is no one anymore at 125 or 138. Let me explain how it happened. So they want more levels, right? They want to win. They don't care about anything but winning. And that's the right mindset, In Counter-Strike, it's not like that. So this is, again, now the middle point is 150. Why? Because now if you go to the Coliseum and you look at their fucking names when they joined and they want to fight you, it says build, for example, strength build, because they're stupid. They don't oh shit, electricity went out. Doesn't matter. They're stupid. They don't want to acknowledge. Shit, whatever. They refuse to acknowledge that they want to be a higher level than their opponent. They refuse to acknowledge this. So now, if you go to the Coliseum and you want to fight someone, they are at level 164. And now this is how it's gonna happen. Now no one is gonna be at 138 and 150, and over enough time, 164 is gonna be the new norm. And they're gonna even move beyond that, because these people don't care about what the community agrees on. All right, let me fix my screen for a second. So yeah, this is crazy. This is fucking insane. Again, a great reminder to me that if people can cheat, they will. And of course, there is other ways of cheating as well. I'm not done. You can actually use cheat engine to increase certain stats in the game. You can increase your health. If you don't like, for example, you're level 164 and you still want more advantage over everyone else that is playing against you, You can use the cheat engine to increase your health by any amount you want. Increase the damage of your weapon slightly, or by any amount you want. Just increase it a lot. It doesn't matter to them. They just want to win. They just want more stats. They want easy wins. They don't want to do anything. They just don't. So yeah, that's interesting. They cheat in that way as well. They manipulate the stats. Like leveling, being higher level than the person you're fighting is not enough for them anymore. They just want to have. They just want to. They want another way. They want another way to win. So yeah. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. That's why it's crazy, Elden Ring PvP, eye-opening experience. It's not like that, in CS. CS, it's not very individualistic. So there is other points I want to talk about. Other than that, in the being an individual, in Elden Ring, doing the PvP in a way that is, one person versus another person. This one versus one increases, it's more personal. It feels more personal. While you lose in a team, you subconsciously might say, okay, maybe it wasn't my fault. Maybe my team slacked. That is a possibility that creeps in to your mind, no matter how much of a team player you are. But when it's a 1v1, it's personal. If you win, you're the better person. If they win, they're the better person. So yeah, in general, they that's how they do. The Elden Ring community doesn't. To summarize my points here, let me go back. They don't. They don't care about anything. They cheat. They cheat, and they don't care that they're cheating, which is what people would do if anti-cheats weren't, imposed by the developers of any game. If the developers don't impose rules, you don't get that. So that's something. Oh yeah, and the individualistic thing I wanted to talk about is in CS. Playing deathmatch in CS, you get that sense. There some society starts to form. In Counter-Strike deathmatch mode, you play for yourself to climb the ranks, which is very similar to what happens in real life, on a deeper level. And you just fight to get to the top of the leaderboard. And what is interesting is that when I'm playing and someone else is better than me, I look at the leaderboard and I'm like, oh shit, 60 points higher than me. I look into two things, doing better, and this creeping thought behind my head saying that we, the players in the lobby, in the deathmatch lobby, should gang up on the person that's at the top of the leaderboard, which is usually something that happens. So if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. In the deathmatch, when someone is at the top of the leaderboard, you look at the, kill records, and you're like, oh shit, that person killed someone, and you look for the sound of guns. So the top player is over there. You locate them, and you know where they at, and you try not to die to them or to gang up on them with someone else. So this is interesting because this is a form of society happening. Everybody agrees. Everybody agreeing. So this is the kind of democracy that I like. Ganging up on people. Not just not just everyone has rights. If you gang up on somebody, just like in Elden Ring, you're not defeating them by default. But that's what happens in democracy. If 4 people vote against you, you by default are gone, which is shit. But in Elden Ring, if 10 people attack you, and you know what to do, it is possible for that one person to defeat the 10 people, which is not something that is possible in a democracy. It's only possible in Elden Ring, and it's only possible in a Counter-Strike deathmatch mode. So what happens for example, you get to the top of the leaderboard. Now you have a target on your back, and everybody tries to kill you more than everybody else. So they look for you. They look for your sounds. So what does that do? You either fail and lose the being the top of the leaderboard, or you become a stronger person for it. And that's the best kind of democracy that I think should be implemented into the main gameplay of Counter-Strike, not just deathmatch mode. You know, get rid of democracy. Democracy is done. They don't understand though. So yeah, I was talking about my points. Elden Ring community cheats, which is interesting. They don't care. The game is fully unfair. Elden Ring PvE both and PvP, it has mechanics that are unexplained. So, as a new player, it's unfair. So by default, there is no justice. This is unlike Counter Strike, which is something they're striving for justice. They're doing things for everyone to play, but there is no justice at all. Two things are illusions. Rating people. There is no rate. You can't rate someone. No one is better than anyone else. All right. There are good things and bad things, obviously. Weakness is bad and strength is good. So that's how you define it. So, uh, yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, in Counter Strike, you. I completely lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Shit. Because there's so much to talk about. So right there, I was gonna talk about how the ratings that they give people based on their wins and their kills are really not as defining as Valve probably thinks they are, because even if you have like 10 wins in the game, for example, uh, those 10 wins are against different people in different circumstances. Maybe those guys were tired, maybe you had energy, or the opposite, or the kills you get, they are not all the same. That's why rating someone is difficult, or that's why democracy, for example, not all votes should count the same. That's what I was trying to say here. Yeah, we need to be. It's better, Coliseum PvP is better because it's a 1v1. It's very clear, You're going for the win. You're not going for anything else. And you're free to cheat. You can cheat if you want. And survival is the reward. There is no external reward, and there is no democracy. So those are the points. And um, oh yeah, I should also talk about how I pretty sure this is the last point. So how I said the reward of winning is you surviving. So at the end of each Coliseum duel, you get a time where that is the representation of your reward. You get to be alive after the other person is dead, and you get to twist the facts however you want. So what the Elden Ring PvP community does, with all their cheating and with all the unfairness that is going on, which is what I love, uh, they um, they still shit on you after you die to them. So a person could be manipulating the stats using status buildup, which is against the game's mechanics. Normally, they use that. They are higher level than you. They manipulated the stats with a cheating app, cheating software, and maybe they even ganged up on you. On top of everything else, they even ganged up on you. So after you die, they still consider themselves and are right to be, because they won. They consider themselves to be better than you, and they shit on your corpse. They throw poop pots, which is an item in the game. They throw poop pots at your corpse, and that's fucking great. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. They cheat, and they consider themselves to be better because they won. So the process of winning doesn't matter to them. The process, what leads you to winning, it doesn't matter if you're a skillless dumbass that accidentally kills a great player, which is something that can happen very often in Elden Ring PvP. You could just get lucky and defeat, a great player. That's a possibility. That's great. It doesn't happen in CS. In CS, if you're good, a new player can do nothing to you. So in Elden Ring, that's great. The new player can actually blast you, get lucky, and destroy you. Or you could be cheating and you win. Or you could just be passive and you win. You know, this is a great tactic they use. In war, everybody's actual real life war. Everybody's excited. Oh, let's fight. Let's fucking go kill them. You're angry at the other people. There's anger, there's hatred, and you want to kill them. But of course, a strategy that they can use is be passive, and this is amazing because in Elden Ring PvP, because you can light roll in the game. People who know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. That is basically a guarantee that you will never lose any fight. You will either draw or win. If you use that correctly, that's how it's gonna happen. Obviously, there's a margin of error. The lag thing I explained. There are things you cannot dodge, and there are cheaters who use things that kill you, regardless of anything, and they still shit on your corpse. It doesn't matter. So yeah. Those are my points, and I think it's just great that in Counter Strike there are scenarios where there are two teams fighting each other. None of them are cheating, and yet both are accusing each other of cheating. And there's the Elden Ring community where everybody is cheating, and no one acknowledges that they're cheating. No one even talks about it, and they're all proud, and you know they praise themselves for winning in the game. I mean, they should, but it's crazy that they never take into account the cheating that happens, all the unfairness that is happening in the game, you know, because you increase your chances of winning so much, and then you win, and it's somehow like I don't know if they have Alzheimer's. They forget how much advantage they've had in the how much the advantages they had played a part in that win. They just don't care about it. They just contribute. Well, what am I trying to say? Um, they contribute their win to their own skill and talent, which they have none of. So it's crazy. So what I'm saying is, skill and talent has nothing to do with whether or not you win. Whether or not you win has to do with power. That is a whole different can of worms. So whoever wins is the powerful. It doesn't matter how much they cheat. It doesn't matter whatever the fuck they do to get that win. If you win, you're the powerful because you survive. And when you survive, you can redefine what skill and talent is. You can look at it. Look at some of my fights. I stream some of Elden Ring PvP as well. You can look at some of my fights, and I'm like busted so many moves, and I'm hitting some hits that are truly mind blowing. I'm doing some things that seem nearly impossible, but it doesn't matter if it doesn't translate to a win, which is not the case in CS. And when you're playing CS, it's like people believe in something. People want to do some, and it's also sad because in CS, the rating system, I highly doubt that it takes into account the crazy things you do that doesn't translate to a win. Or if you have 17 kills in a CS match, not all those 17 kills were gotten with the same level of course the game understands how much of your kills are headshots, or how much, that kind of thing. But which headshot was like you were 2 meters from your target, that kind of headshot, or which headshot was like you shot this dude across the map, you flicked him, and it just doesn't take into account those things when rating someone. Or does it? I have no but pretty sure it doesn't. It doesn't take into account how impressive your kills are. They don't. Your kills probably don't have different ratings based on. They may do based on accuracy, but not based on that. And that is something that Elden Ring PvP reminded me, which I couldn't have been reminded of if I just kept playing CS. So, so Elden Ring, because everybody wants to win so much, you start to be reminded that just winning is the only thing that matters. It doesn't matter how stylish you are in winning. It doesn't matter if you wasted your own life, because passive people in the Colosseum PvP duels, they are wasting their own life as well as yours, and they don't care. They're being passive, just taking their shot, which is really just powerful. They're not skillful, of course. They're just dodging, waiting for you to get tired, waiting for you to question why the fuck am I playing Elden Ring. They make you say that. It's like, why am I doing PvP? I'm wasting so much time following this guy, and he keeps dodging my attack. And you're thinking about that, and that dude is killing you. That's why being passive is. It doesn't matter if you're skillful. It doesn't matter if you don't cheat. People don't care in the Elden Ring PvP community. It just matters if you win. Your skill doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Only winning and losing. That's all they care about, and that's what is missing in a huge part of the Counter-Strike community. So yeah, I'm pretty sure like 10 minutes ago I said this video is over, and I just keep going. So although the Colosseum, Elden Ring PvP is a great representation of what a Colosseum would mean in real life, and bringing competition to the forefront, just Elden Ring Colosseum is saying something that nobody is willing to say in real life. That you're all just, behind all the courteous, bows and the waves and all our beliefs and religion and all our norms and what society agrees on. Under all that bullshit, under the skin, people still are how they were when we were cavemen. They just want to survive. They just want to win. So you get cases like me just blasting someone, and I hit them. The fight starts in the Colosseum. I hit them. I blast them. And they have 1 HP. And they lost like 99% of their health in like 5 seconds, and they keep dodging, and they roll, and they go away to cast regeneration and shit like that. Oh, I said regeneration. I was reminded of a topic, so I gotta talk about that as well. And they keep casting regeneration, and they want to come back to the fight. They don't want to accept that they fucked up the fight and the fight is over. So they have 1 HP. Maybe they were AFK. Maybe they're shit at the game, so I fucking blasted them. It doesn't matter. When they have 1 HP, they start spamming roll, because human instinct says, don't die, don't lose, just win. And that's what's crazy. That's what was eye-opening for me. So I also wanted to talk about this. It's not a point on why Elden Ring PvP is better than Counter-Strike PvP, but I just wanted to say it's great that religion gets a representation in the Colosseum. So the way it's represented is through healing spells and regeneration spells. So whoever uses regeneration is by default a person that believes in things, and that is a religious person. And how I say this is because religious people believe in forgiveness. So if in the Colosseum, or if in real life you make mistakes, only religion can give you the illusion, which is why religious people are delusional. Gives you the illusion that your past mistakes were actually okay. So that's what happens in the Colosseum. You destroy someone, but religion or regeneration or healing spells allows them to get the health that they lost back. And I love this because it perfectly encapsulates what religious means. What the fuck? What religion means, and how it stops evolution, how it fucking hinders the ability for people to become stronger. Because if you go into the Colosseum, the whole point of Colosseum is don't make mistakes, make every move count, become logical, become instinctual. And what healing and regeneration does is when you make mistakes, you go back and you heal. So all the mistakes that you made are now gone. But the pay, what you have to pay because of that the healing things you casted is that now you are less sensitive to making mistakes, which is exactly what happens when you become religious. So I thought that's fucking great. That's fucking amazing. There's no healing in Counter Strike, so I mean in deathmatch there is, but so should that be removed? I have no idea. I haven't thought about it, so it's not the concentration of this video, anyways. So regeneration, is there something else I want to talk about? Oh yeah, uh, there is this. There are these talismans in the game, Elden Ring, PvP. That well, to put them into two categories, there's the talisman that you begin. You know, if you have full health, you get more damage and more protection. So that two talismans do those two things, and two talismans increase your defense when you're at low health, and increase your damage and when you're at low health as well. So again, these are tools that show people don't care about because what tell me what this means to you. Someone joins a Coliseum PvP match and they have two talismans on them and they readily switch to them. What does this mean to you? These two talismans causes them to do more damage and have more defense when they have very small amount of health left. This means that they were thinking that they might fail when they come to the Colosseum, planning for failure, which is not natural. This is something, this is a disease. You come in there to win with a preconceived notion of winning, right? And having these on, well, so let's just say this is something they do against themselves. So not having those talismans on or thinking about them or using them makes you a stronger person, a better duelist, but they don't care, of course. When it comes to power, you don't want to be good at the game, you just want to win. And that's the kind of mentality that causes them to have these talismans on. Also, I made a mistake by calling it a disease. Disease. It's not a disease. It's actually very natural. Th- that part I made a mistake because I've been talking about for like an hour. My thoughts are starting to be jumbled. Yeah, and the two talismans, which I think have a bit more dignity to them, which increase your damage and defense when your health is full. So what that represents is you come into the Colosseum with the intention of not getting hit at all, because you have those two talismans on, which is not very logical. But again, logic only plays a certain amount of part in winning and power. There's also instinct. There's also all the meta stuff that's going on. So yeah, that was it. Again, holy shit! I think this is the third time I want to end the video, but I want to talk about how, of course, a Colosseum would be great, but and here Elden Ring gave us a real Colosseum, a lawless Colosseum that is not moderated by the developers, only moderated by the people that play it, which is fucking amazing. And uh, the result is that, of course, some people don't know what's going on. Some people continue to be resentful and hateful, which is not something that has a place in a combat that is just there, pure fighting, pure Colosseum. pure Fight Club style. Um, so yeah, people get angry and they get hurtful and resentful, which hurtful. I mean, that's fine. That's hurting people. That's good. But they become haters, which is not great, and they become socialists by believing that there's a different. I mean, they don't believe it. They at least on the surface they seem like they believe it, which is also not great. Just become who you are, Elden Ring community players. Just become the beast that only wants to win. Just become that. Just stop refusing it. Because a lot of players, at the beginning of the fight, they bow and they pretend they're respectful, but I hit them at the beginning of the round, and then the monster comes out. Now they don't care about anything. They kill me and they shit on my corpse, and I'm like, yes, I knew you had this in you. I knew you were a monster all along. I knew you were pretending, but stop that as well. I know you can do that. I know it's possible. Just stop pretending you're not cheating. Just become, you're not a CS player. Those are CS players that cheat and pretend they're not cheating. Just own the cheating like the fucking 90% of the community. Just there are some individuals that don't own the fact that they're cheating. Just own it. Just say, I'm cheating and I won by cheating against you, and the developers didn't stop me. Fuck you, I failed. That's good. That's what you want. Just become yourself. Don't lie to yourself that you're not cheating, and don't pretend like you care about social norms. There's a lot of things. Wow, respectable fighter that doesn't exist. Don't do it. I know you. All of the people that bow to you, they have shit pots in their inventory ready for you. Just know this. So stop pretending like you care about social stuff. Stop pretending. Just stop. Just become who you are. Become the fighters of the Colosseum. Just become yourselves. And yeah, what I'm leaning towards, other than my desk, is that some people refuse this, and this refusal is very apparent in my comment section. I'm gonna move to that in a second. So yeah, hopefully the comments are going to be visible, quite visible. So here, going to the comments section, I haven't seen a lot of the newer comments, so this is interesting. Is my internet working? So yeah, because so much bullshit, let me go back. So I block two kinds of things. I think it's starting to be a bit dark in my room, so my camera has been reduced to 30 FPS. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening to increase the brightness. Yeah, so the way blocking works, also, yeah, that kind of behavior, there's a lot of Elden Ring players that block people because they don't bow, or block people because they light roll, or block people for any kinds of reasons, and that is just purely fucking stupid. That is just another form of denial and delusion that exists in this community. They block you for that kind of thing. Also, there's a lot of showing a lack of will. Like, they can't decide for themselves what they can't just go in their profile and say, okay, if you do this, I don't like your play style. They just don't outright say that. They instead talk shit like there is a objective rule against like light rolling or doing, playing a certain way. There isn't any rules in this fucking game. Just stop believing that. Just admit that the rules you say and the people you block are based on taste and nothing else. Just admit it, just accept it. But they refuse, obviously, to accept it. Of course, there's a lot of silly stuff happening in the Elden Ring community. Like, the number of times people told me stop light rolling when I wasn't light rolling just fucking more than 10 times. I'd say more than 10 times. I have about 3,000 hours in Elden Ring. This has happened more than 10 times, I'd say, easily. Uh, they don't know the difference between like fucking many kinds of weapons, many kinds of ashes of war. They couldn't tell the difference between fucking. When I say they, I mean there are individuals in the Elden Ring PvP community that are very silly people, that are very delusional. They don't accept anything that's happening to them. There are many of these people, and like at the beginning, I was an amateur in the PvP, and I was using uh, the Ash of War determination, and one of them uh, like fucking insulted me for using Royal Knight's Resolve, and they just didn't even consider the possibility that I wasn't a cheater. Like that's how bad, at the beginning they were cheating. Of course, the Elden Ring PvP community that were there from the previous games, they entered the PvP scene with cheats on basically, and obviously they didn't care that it was unfair to the new players that were entering the PvP. And one of these cheats was they obviously had all the items, or even if they didn't cheat, they looked up guides instead of naturally finding items and shit, which is like a normal person would do. They looked up the position and stuff, and yeah, they just couldn't tell the difference between Royal Knight's Resolve and Determination. I think those are the names of Ashes of War, and that's just the kind of thing I'm saying. They cheat, and their assumption about you is that you are also cheating if you're in the PvP community. That's the assumption. Everybody's cheating, so that's the assumption in the PvP community, which is fucking crazy. So, and this is the assumption that they don't talk about. It's not like Counter-Strike assumption, which is, oh, you're cheating, and in the chat box you're insulting the other team. It doesn't work like that. Everybody's cheating, and the assumption is that you are cheating as well, even though you're telling them you're not, and you're not actually cheating. It doesn't matter. It's all inside you anyways. So they pretend like it's not possible to know. So yeah, so this person thought, just assumed that I have the top tier Ashes of War, just everything top of the line, just because I was partaking in the PvP, which is a great tale to tell when it comes to the Elden Ring PvP community. Is put things into perspective. So yeah, going back to my comments, and yeah, blocking people. They block based on taste. How I block people personally, I block people that join the Coliseum fight and immediately kill you and crash the game. I think I have like 5 people blocked based on that, because I do believe there is nothing to be gained from that. Winning, winning should be the goal, and you should do anything. You should cheat in any way you can to win. But at the point where I join the fight and you already won by default, uh, that's a bit much. There's even people that you fight, and you have a normal fight, and you reach the end of the fight, and then they use cheats to kill you, and or when their health reaches 1, they automatically heal, so they never die, and you lose to them by default. I think those are a lot better than the people that outright kill you when they enter the Coliseum, because then the fight never happened. Cheating and caring about winning is great, but there's a point where it's like, okay, the game is over. You're not even playing anymore. That's the kind of thing that's the only kind of thing I'm against. And I wasn't normally against this, but since I've been streaming, you know, and I was streaming a bunch of Elden Ring PvP, and they crashed my game during stream, and uh, that was I think that's where I reached my red line. I normally didn't care, didn't even block them, but I think that's interesting. So now, I've received so many garbage comments that I've come to the conclusion that Elden Ring community cannot just leave any good comments. You know, of course, good and bad defined by me is strong and weak. So these comments are just so bad, which I mean they're weak. So I'm just gonna close my comment section and just read all the comments that have been left up to this point. That's what I'm gonna do now. Delete them and just close my comment section because I've come to the conclusion that the Elden Ring community just is unable to leave actually insulting comments. So yeah, that's it. Let me just do that for the final part of the video. Holy shit, 1 hour and 10 minutes. Jesus Christ. So can you see the comments right now? Let me come up here a little bit. Yeah. So hopefully you can see the comments well. I hope. So this guy eats shit. I hope that's what he says. This guy eats shit. So the issue with this insult, it's just copy. You know, it's not original, of course, and it's copied. So it just reduces the effect of the insult to nothing, basically. Starting to burp. Geo George says depraved. Geo George, you have to look deeper into the concept of a mob mentality. So if you believe that some people can be depraved, means that you have a definition of a norm, which is how societies are built. So that's you're dumb for that. So that's a dumb comment. Pathetic, bro, you are pathetic. So the issue here, you can see the lack of will of the Elden Ring PvPers. You know, one person says pathetic, the next person says what says pathetic as well, and the person after that says pathetic as well, and this keeps going until the pathetic comments are behind a bunch of other comments, so they can't be seen. So they don't even they want to insult me, and they come to my comment section to get ideas of what the insult should be. So there's a lot of strong suits about Elden Ring PvP community that they just willingly, proudly cheat. You know, that's great. But this stuff is like this is the that's what I mean. This is the caution section. You know, there are still people who strive to have some sort of social thing happen in the Elden Ring PvP, or have some sort of rules, set up rules for things to happen, and you see them here. These are the bad ones. These are the bad apples of the of the Colosseum, I'd say. So these comments are disqualified. Shitter with sleep mode died and press Alt F4. This is what happens when you show them who they are. You know, at some point when I was playing, I was like, okay, let me just show to them how hypocritical they're being, and I started using status build up, and they couldn't do anything, and this is the rage resulted from showing them who they are, which they really don't like to. That's you don't they don't like to see that. This is another pathetic, just copying previous comment. Like roll, crutch, passive shit L. Uh, this is one of those instances where I think I'm quite certain I was not light rolling, and this person said I was wrongly thought I was light rolling and insulted me based on it. Again, there's no logic to it. You know, if you just it's all based on taste. You know, who they don't like and like, it's based on their taste, and they refuse to believe that. Lamau, bro, pulled the plug. Now, there was a huge part of my gameplay where I exited the game after after I lost, or after I realized the player wasn't going to do anything and it's just wasting my time. I would just leave the game, which is not great. That is one of those instances of me refusing to accept my fate, and my fate was usually one of two things: that I lost to someone, or that I accepted to come to fight in the Colosseum, and by doing that, I accepted a possibility of a passive player who just dodges for 2 minutes and tries to kill me while doing so. And I refuse to believe that. How could I possibly sign up for this? This is so cruel and difficult. And that was my way of coping, which I have now given up proudly. I used to exit the game. In my defense, it's not like religion. It's not that level of coping where they believe in an afterlife that literally doesn't exist. At least when I alt forward, the victory screen didn't appear for them. That was my justification when I did it. So yeah. Why you rage quit again? These people have no idea how I felt after I quit, so they assumed I was angry. But they didn't know that I'm literally anti-hate and anger and rage. 2,000, yeah, you see a lot of these 2,600 hours in Elden and still can't get any good. So you rage quit. Rage quitting being the assumption, Lamau being this person being a defeated person in real life, so they laugh like the fucking Joker. So there's a lot of comments like this because they see my hours. This is the basic, childish belief that older people are the authority. They automatically accept whoever is older should probably be wiser and more powerful and just be skillful. While first of all, there is no definition of skill or knowledge or anything. There is no objective definition of those things, and this person just categorizes having a lot of hours or being older to power. So the case here is automatically set up to fail, and there's a lot of these are people basically 6, and they see whoever's older and they think that whoever's older by default should be a better person. And it's crazy that they don't realize better and worse is defined in their terms and not the objective better or worse that is stronger or weaker. So age or hours of play doesn't define how skillful the person is. I could have been in the menu for 2,000 hours. They don't know that, but they just assume and they don't care. And that's the whole point. And this person says you are a joke. Well, that is not a very original insult, so doesn't matter. You're just copying. So copying to some extent is fine. Of course, nothing we say is inherently original. So, but when I look at some of these are like very, I think about them a lot, and I'm like, there is no way there is anything original about that insult. And those are one of those instances. You're such a scrub, Lamau. Scrub, scrub is another word where they learned this because they were in the community and they just followed social norms that exist in the PvP community of calling someone a scrub. They didn't actually come up with this word. They just met with it and decided to what's the word? Adopt it. Does your Alt 4 key have erosion on it from you constantly quitting? Well, I assume all my buttons have erosions on them because I use them. It's not really an insult. Lamau, you rage quit every time, it seems. Again, assuming I'm angry when I'm quitting, when I'm not. I don't even have to say it. Yeah, see, they just care too much about what other people in the community think, or pretend to care too much about what other people in the community think. Because, like I said, a lot of the time they abandon everything they stand for. When you hit them with something at the beginning of a fight, they immediately just forget all about that and become what they actually are. Still talking about hours. You spam, and when you die, well, again, there is so when you say 2,600 in Elden Ring and you play PvP spam shit, so after playing a certain amount of hours in anything, spamming is all you do because there isn't real innovation in your moves. You know all the moves, That's how I'm so good at parrying, because to me, all the PvP community is spamming, and that's literally how I become good at parrying. comparing you guys, because you guys do the same moves over and over to me, which who has a lot of experience in the PvP section. Yeah, learn to play. I know how to play. Yeah, that is not an insult. That's just wrong. I know how to play. Trash again. That's a 6-year-old insult. Like, and this unfortunately represents a section of the community. Love how you stare while you do. Your opponent is gesturing. Uh, see, and you're gonna see this a lot in the comments probably. I've definitely seen it. Sarcasm is a huge tool for them, and sarcasm is the lowest form you can get in speech, and it's just terrible. It just ruins your worldview. Actually, when you're sarcastic enough, nothing makes sense anymore to you, and that's a deeper discussion for another day. But definitely, sarcasm is not the way to insult your opponent. So you're basically telling me you love me, and I appreciate it. Alta for like a loser. Well, yeah, this is the next insult we're gonna be talking about. Loser. They say that a lot. We're gonna come to it again. I'm pretty sure. So I'm not gonna address it here. I'm gonna address it in a second. They're the greet, and using the R word like it's fucking 2003 Xbox shit, and yeah, learn to greet. Yeah, no thanks. Uh, you yourself, you know this person that says learn to greet. If you attack him at the beginning of the round and start the next round, you see that they won't greet when they start the fight. It's interesting actually. Alta 4 trash. Morado stopped just insulting in English. Just forgot that I don't speak this language. Stopped insulting me in English. Blocked your ass, so I never had to deal with a knob. I hope you become a better person someday. You seem at your lowest right now, which is very wrong. I'm at the height, so usually this is loser talk. I'm not talking like childish definition. This is a person that died and they were outmatched, they were outskilled, and even whatever the case, they lost. And this is their coping mechanism because they're probably a religious good boy or a society norm good boy, and they come here to bitch about it. Christ, you're filthy. Fix your net. You're gonna get a lot of these. Again, there's no. This is not really an insult. I know that I have shit net, and I accept it, and I'm proud of it. I use it to fuck everybody in the community up, and I don't even care. Which is something that the Elden community needs to adopt, because they can't like the times they're laggy, they kill you and they insult you any way they can. But when you're laggy, that's an issue. So you're starting to see a pattern here. As long as it's against them winning, it's bad, which makes sense. It's a Coliseum. I came here to praise this dude like everyone else. Again, being sarcastic, doesn't make any sense. Alta 4 lol. Fastest Alta again. Just this is a praise, being able to being quick is not an insult. So you're not insulting anything. Talking fastest Alta 4 man alive. Just basically complimenting me. That's their way of insulting me, which is not something I can say when they're actually in the Coliseum fighting. They don't sarcastically hit me; they actually hit me. So that's stupid. That they turn up here and they just act this way. Just get wrecked, kiddo. Again, this not very original. This is the kind of talk they learn, and they just repeat like parrots, unfortunately. Yo mama and kiddo. That's the combination. That's the combination right there. There's a lot of cowards. Well, yeah, I'm not just gonna talk. This is just representations of them in these comments. they think they're talking about me while they're doing the same things. So, and I'm not offended by it. I'm owning whatever I do, and I would certainly not define myself as a coward. I'm the person running and actually playing the game, or sometimes being passive again. It's not a sign of being a coward. I'm just being a strategist. Alt F4, rage quitting. The commentator. You can tell someone's a massive in when they try to thunderbolt you immediately when you're waving. That is not how you say that. Thunderbolt gets parried, gets killed. Alt F4 every time the same. Arena is not for you, my friend. You're saying the intellectual here, my friend, using the talk. You get too much stress for defeats, even though has no idea how I feel. Just sees my actions in game. Just assumes I'm feeling stressed. If it's too hard for you, go PvP. Choose a more relaxed game. Good luck. Now, I'm one of the biggest fuckers of the Elden Ring community, so I fucked them, which is crazy, because I'm fighting against cheaters. I want so much that I have no idea how it's possible for me to win this much when there's so much cheating going on. But I did it. But I did fucking do it. And this person has no idea who he's talking to. Marxist comrade, bye loser. I assume homie typed this when he was blocking me. But yeah, I'm not a loser. I actually win a lot. I win a lot. You can't call somebody a loser when they win this much. My nickname was High Chainsaw Loser. Yeah. So this person, yeah, I don't know what they did. I think they were mostly laggy and used status build up and spears. I think so. Damn, you suck. As well, yeah, same thing. Alt F4, don't respecting the norms, because I respected the norms and I deserve respect back. Fuck no, fuck you. I don't know what that means. Languages I don't understand. I don't know. Nothing about my profile says I speak any of those languages. I don't know why. Yeah, same thing. They don't have to be original at this point. They gave up. Coward, spamming, Alt F4, L, nothing. Just nothing. The words are being repeated. Just loser, cringe, whatever. Virgin behavior is a new one, but wrong. Big Meat Pete, crazy fucking name. Is this a person I know? Probably not. Pathetic fool. Some anime insults over here. Starts by spamming Alt F4. Yeah, spams Alt F4s. Get dismantled, noob. No, this is a person I've destroyed a bunch of times, so it's okay. The insult is taken. I accept it, as I have destroyed you so many times. I'll take an insult. It's I prefer it to losing. I don't know. Are you gonna spam? 2,000 hours. Shit, net. Please delete game. 500 ping. Almost 3 lagging like still loses. Yeah, same. All the same. Nothing new so far. You know, you get the first few ones and you get an idea of all of them. That's how they work. Trash net, trash. My skills are not trash. Let me tell you that much. Attack. Okay, here, bro is listing. Attacks mid horrible, mid gesturing horrible lag, spams, rage quits. Yeah, the whole thing. Rage quit. Leave. No honor. And yes, span. Didn't even type it right. That's how angry homie was. Those hours aren't helping, eh? Again, believing that whoever has more hours or is older is by default better or stronger, which is a wrong, delusion. Loser. Yep. Can't call someone who wins this often a loser. Think about that. Loser in both game and life, while knows nothing about my life. Delete this game, bro. No, I will remain. I will remain until you delete this game, actually. fuck you. Easy times 2, I have defeated this person more than 20 times. So times 2, I accept it. I accept that you defeated me 2 times if you accept that I defeated you 30 times. Rage Quitter, same thing. Easy, bro came from Counter-Strike. This is uncivilized duelist. This person is British. Lunar Revel. There's so many individuals with this profile. So can't really say much about this person other than they're unoriginal. Chill, bro. No. Loser crowd. Cut it straight up. Okay, calling people gay at this moment in time. You got this person. Uh, Easy again. That's Counter Strike talk. No place for it in the Elden Ring community talk. PvP. Come on. Spams, quits, same thing. So you start to see the issue here. One person says I spam, I don't know, fucking spam mid gesturing and rage quit, and other people feel the need to say the same thing again. So why? Why is that? Because it's a 1v1 every time. And when it's a 1v1 and you do something to them and they come to your comment section and they don't care because you personally destroyed them, they have to talk about it. Wimp GG again doesn't know whether to insult me or say GG. Just make up your mind. Loser, I win so many times. I win so much. You have no idea. Run Forest Run, which is actually strategy. You know, you don't run, see how many matches you win. You don't run, see. Also, I know for a fact this person runs. If you just fight him, you know, force him to run, he will run like there ain't no Forest ever run. He's gonna run. Genius, well, I agree, but. You know, this comment is pretty interesting. I don't know where the fuck this comes from, but very spot on. I am a very I have a great mind actually. I have a great mind. I'll take that compliment. And I'm done looking at it. I've seen it so many times by now. Yeah. Just repeat Thunderbolt. Alt F4, take a loser, luck a dope. Okay. Cookie just comments a question mark. Why'd you log out? We were having so much fun. Now this person, this is a laggy ass player, right? That doesn't care. Now this is the kind of shit I like. Well, I'm putting the recording on me making rage quit on stream. Lol. I streamed that myself. You don't have to put that on stream. 3K hours, believing in hours. Link. Fastest, just complimenting me on how fast. GG's with a heart. I don't know what the fuck. I talked to this person as well. I can't remember the context on why they told me GG when everybody else was doing something. So that's interesting. So going against some of these people go against the norm, but don't mistake them for having wills of their own. So they come into my comment section and see all the negative comments, and they leave a positive comment to be a contrarian. Not that they have a will of their own. Not that they make decisions on their own. Yeah, nothing interesting or original here. Don't see anything important here. Just gonna cruise through these ones. Subscribe to Thread. Love seeing the hate this guy gets. You know, that's crazy. Loving hate. Hate is not to be loved. It's to be stopped. It's to be stopped from spreading around. It's to be shut down. And this person loves the hate, so you can tell what kind of person they are. Pretty sure he's farming comments on purpose. I am not farming comments. I did leave my comments open based on a suggestion of my friend. My friend had no idea what kind of people Elden Ring community players are. He has no idea that they would just repeat the same thing over and over again. That person called me a cheater. It's interesting. Very interesting. There was a really long comment. I'm trying to get to that. Haha, get parried, loser. Again, I win so much. And Big Cat Sif, I parried you way too many times for you to be saying that. I parried you so many times. And that person said your net was dark. I don't know what that means. So yeah, this person didn't comment anything. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. They added me and we talked for a long while. We played a bunch of games, and I didn't know underneath he was actually gathering intel to be able to just remove me eventually and comment this on my profile. So this fella is quite unique, correct? As he added me, here's the verdict. Here's the ultimate verdict, the objective review on William Turner. Justifies rage quitouts because he doesn't like getting pointed down, teabag, or fetted, putted. Well, yeah, I didn't like that, but I came to accept it. But need you guys to accept some things as well. Is a laggy prick from Iran who calls it skill. I don't call my lag skill. I call it an advantage. Uh, I have uh, I have other abilities that I call skill in the game. Will call you an amateur if you don't have more hours than him. That is not what I do, just delusional. There's a bunch of delusions here that disqualify the entire verdict, which one of them is this. Uh, I don't call people amateurs if I have more hours than me. I do jokingly say, um, uh, if you have less than fucking 2,000 hours, you're at the tutorial. I do make those jokes, but this person is unable to tell the difference. And the 3,000 hours makes him a god. Thus, I never said that. I would never insult myself by calling myself a god. That just never happens. Never happened. Has an inflated ego bigger than his country's problems. Just revealing that I'm from Iran just gave this guy so much ammo, which is crazy. I during our communication, I didn't realize I was when I said I'm from Iran, I didn't see that like a grin on his face, being like, "Oh fuck yeah, I want to use this," which is interesting. He managed to hide it well. I wasn't realizing he was collecting ammo to insult me based on something I didn't choose. I didn't choose to be born in my country, so it's not an insult. So, but this person thinks it is. So says it anyways. Apparently had over, which is interesting. You know, in this person's mind, if you're from a bad country, you can be insulted for it, or you can continue from there. Apparently had over 2 hours saying he's a good guy, but he deleted them. That is very true. Back in the day, when I say Elden Ring PvP community that come into your section have no will of their own, this is what I mean. At some point, I had only positive comments on my profile, and you could tell that after the fifth page of positive comments, comments just start being shaped into this wave of positivity. They have no will of their own. They can't decide for themselves. So there's the occasional contrarian talking shit about me when I had the good comments, but of course they went away eventually. And then I obviously deleted the positive comments, and this happened, which is interesting because after I started piling up the bad comments instead of the good ones, people started talking shit and stuff. Um, there was no one, almost no one, willing to talk about the good things I did, how I had no lag, I how I showed incredible ability, how I just performed the craziest things in the Coliseum. No one talked about those anymore, and it's just that was what made me just understand how these people work. They just look at the comment. They don't care about it. They have no will. They don't make their own decisions. Uh, yeah, there's also mob mentality exactly. But I give it give give him this. When he doesn't quit out at the speed of light and actually plays, he's a decent fella, good parries, backstabs, and handling bosses. Absolutely dog shit take. I never backstab at all. Every backstab I've got is accidental, or just the person is AFK and I'm going to backstab him. I never actually backstab during fights. I think it's a fucking bullshit, inefficient method of killing people. It's actually very ineffective, gets you blasted most of the time, and I never, in the presence of this person, backstabbed anyone, him or anyone at all. So it's interesting that he talks about it. Don't bother commenting. You can't tell people what to do. All comments are the same with it. Just block and continue enjoying the game without this filth. Yeah, absolutely lost it at the end there. Yeah, with trader tags, not GG blocked. Okay, when you block someone, don't comment. Just block it. There's no need. Yeah, again, they don't understand. They come and say they're blocking and others should block too, while they can just block and not say anything. They see the needs, you know. So the person that refuse to accept that they have lost, to me, just not even. It doesn't even have to be based on me outperforming them. I just won. Just no matter what, just whether I cheated or whatever, they just don't want to accept that. They just don't want to accept that this Coliseum is lawless. So they come here and they're hateful. Ah yes, spamming, gesturing, blocked, no quit, might live on internet. Talking about internet. Skill issue, nope, no skill issue here. Parry mesh, nope. Insane, alright. Rude coward. Finally, it's not that other people can't use tricks, they just don't use. I don't know what you're talking about. People know many tricks and they use many tricks. I don't know what you're talking about. Does this guy always disconnect before they lose? I don't know what's the point. Before he loses. No English? I'm clearly a guy. So yeah. Try to cheese browse. Greeting. Spam. Parry. Disconnect. Have not seen. Likely never seen. Clown like you. Yeah, you're a joke. You're a clown, bro. Trust me. Whatever, man. No, these are not insults. You copy paste. You can't fight with your words. Don't try. God, speaking of the chainsaw cult, it reminds me of something, and actually makes me sad that I didn't talk about and boast about how I beat so many people that used chainsaw glitch against me in the Coliseum. It was some of the best wins I've ever seen. Oh my god, because it was really manifest. Everything I'm talking about in this video, it was manifest, and the person was using chainsaw glitch and I killed him with thunderbolt. It was the most fucking human thing I've ever experienced. That's why I love this game and I will never quit. This guy can't fight. And then this player is rude, doesn't know basic PvP etiquette. right. Learn etiquette first and then interact with people. Doesn't matter. See, this person has like 6 hours of Elden Ring, I bet. Let me go to his profile. If it loads it properly. Yeah. 500 hours. Those are baby hours. Again, hours don't matter, don't mean anything. 10,000 hour player could be in the main menu, and fucking 500 player could be just talented, just grasp the mechanics faster. Fucking could be amazing, but probably has no idea what this community is all about. Yeah, let me go back to the comments. Answering emote with fighting is cheap. You don't have pride. Fucking loser, disconnect just the game, bro. I was going to point down and throw shit bats. Cerebral pals. This is a comment I particularly remember because these words, I don't know what the fuck. Where did you get this from? You see, there's a fine line between just being GG easy noob and saying some shit like this where nobody understands your insult. You have to drive between the fine lines, bro. What is this shit? Cerebral palsy. Just no one knows what you're talking about, bro. DC professionals, calling someone a professional is not an insult. Lopez. Other languages don't understand. Why don't you let me bow? Because I want you to be proud. When you bow, you're disrespecting yourself. I don't want you to disrespect yourself. Try honor next time. Honor is overrated. Your tactic is pathetic. Your insult is lame. I'm so glad I'm not as miserable as you. I am not miserable, actually. Lol, post that shit on Twitch. Now this is where I'm starting to be on Twitch, so the insults are accordingly edited. This person again. Another language, trash. Yeah. Jesus, this is a long ass comment. When you can win with something other than quick poking the big katana, let me know. Until then, keep yourself good at the game. Your dream might come true someday, son. Son, yeah, you know what's going on. The soap thing is lame, by the way. No one cares. Actually, people care. There's a few, and I mean many individuals who copy me when they see me do that. So, laughing at you. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of laughing going on, guys. Keep laughing. Oh, yeah. Loses fight and start lag switching to win the next one. Sizzle, I blasted you, your laggy ass so many times. Kid, okay, dude. That, okay, whatever. Lol, get cooked. You don't talk about the times I cooked you, do you? You don't talk about those, eh? Stupid lag. Always playing that coward. Okay, brave guy. Okay, brave guy. Nothing makes me more happy than eradicating some bug, man. You're a bug, you're an insect. Do yourself a favor and be gone. Yeah. Tell your father about your glorious deeds and let him applaud you. He doesn't have the same definition as glorious deeds as me. Everybody has their own definitions, so he probably wouldn't care. Yeah, you, a lack of normal connection, instant natural war, whips, clan. Okay. No skill, no honor. A lot of skill, but yeah, no honor. Honor is overrated. Get it out of here. Toxic bitch, get internet. No matters. Just a redneck. This was I saw this comment. Very peculiar comment. Just a redneck. I would be one of the few rednecks outside of America. 3K hours and again caring about hours. Coward. Yeah. This dude can't stop. Like he's saying the same comment over and over. So yeah, that was it. And yeah, I suppose I'll end the video there. Thank you for watching. Hopefully, well, I guess a lot of people skipped the comment review section. But yeah, all I have to say is you don't like someone, well, or you don't like, I don't know if it's a quote from a movie or something. If you don't like what someone says, remember that the dead don't talk. So that's something to keep in mind for these Coliseum players. So yeah, that was basically it, and thank you for watching.